Yes, hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ozan Kurtbey. Welcome back to my astrology channel. Today we will move on to the second video now, in terms of tarot analyses. We finished the first video. From Aries to Virgo, we looked at how the flow of events might unfold next week, with Venus moving into Taurus, considering the potential influences and energies this planetary shift could bring, and what we can do during this process to make the most of these changes. Now, as we move forward, we will begin the next part of our journey. We'll start with Libra, which is known as the cardinal air sign, representing balance and harmony, and then move on to Scorpio, the fixed water sign. After that, we'll move on to Sagittarius, the mutable fire sign. From there, we'll then move on to explore Capricorn, which is the cardinal earth astrological sign, then Aquarius, the fixed air astrological sign, and finally, we'll wrap up the week with Pisces, the mutable water astrological sign and the closing sign of astrology, a truly notable conclusion. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see now what awaits our friends who have Libra as their sun sign or rising sign in the coming week, and what they can do about it. Now, as I mentioned before, the very first 3 cards that I draw will represent the sun sign. This is because the sun sign generally describes how things function from a logical and rational perspective in most situations. The second set of 3 is for the moon sign. It represents our subconscious, our relationships, and our automatic reactions. Because the subconscious always wants to keep a person safe. That's why, if you pay close attention, certain phrases come out automatically in some people. In fact, the moment you ask them why they said that to you, they immediately go into denial. They'll say, "No, I didn't say anything like that." Because in reality, it's the subconscious that brings it out automatically. It's not coming from the person's conscious mind, it just pops out automatically, not in a conscious state. And when a person wakes up, the moment they begin to awaken, the moment they start to notice, the moment they can admit it to themselves and be honest when facing others, everything starts to become so much easier for everyone. But the thing is, being able to do this is difficult because overcoming your own ego is hard. Exactly. Sun sign and rising sign Libras. Our career life, card number 1. Card number 2 and card number 3. Your emotional life, that is, career life, sun sign. Moon sign Libra, card number 1. Card number 2 and card number 3. Let's see what it is and what it isn't. This is what I tell everyone. Watch the video for your sun sign separately. Watch the video for your rising sign separately. Watch the video for your moon sign separately. Watch all of them separately and combine them. Card number 1. At the very beginning of next week, when the moon is in Virgo, that is, when the rising sign Libra is in its 12th house, experiencing completions, the High Priestess card says, use your mind together with your intuition and open your black notebook. What will you do along with these completions? What will you do? Because after the middle of the week, Venus, your ruling planet, will start moving into Taurus towards the earth element. It will come opposite to you, but that's how it should be. It will make you a bit tense because you are the cardinal air sign. And Venus is passing through the fixed earth sign. This might affect you a little. That's why you should start making your plans and calculations now, while things are coming to completion. Exactly. In the middle of the week, as the moon moves into Libra, your rising sign, your life area sign, the first house, there will be news coming your way. Good news. Combine your plans with that good news, and then at the end of the week, the moon will move into Scorpio anyway. This is the house of values for Libra rising. The ruler of the second house is Taurus anyway. Act accordingly. Combine that account. Go on a discovery, explore. What will I do? How will I do it? Where can I do it from? Exactly. That's what I mean by discovery. And as I said, it's moving into the house of values. This card is already ruled by Taurus. It's the last card. Focus on your values. With the transformation of Scorpio in the account you make there, since the moon is moving into Scorpio, the moon will enter Scorpio. At that moment, when the moon enters Scorpio, you come face to face with Venus. Because the opposite sign of Scorpio is Taurus, and Venus is also moving into Taurus. There is a moon-Venus opposition. This causes your values to flow rapidly and intensely. because the speed of the moon's flow is always faster than the speed of the sun's flow. There is a saying in Turkey, bad news travels fast. Why? Because dark energy moves much faster than solar energy. That's why lunar eclipses are more effective and quicker than solar eclipses. And you, Libra rising, can make very good use of that Moon-Venus opposition. Exactly. When it comes to your emotional life, there are close flirtations and then old LL loves. Pluto is in retrograde. Exactly, old loves. Because Pluto means emotional obsession. Old lovers and flings may come up again. That's when you pull out your notebook. I valued you before, but you got a bit full of yourself. Since one side was removed, the case was closed. Exactly. Because when Libra values someone, they do it unconditionally. And the other person is like, wow, look at me now. So, to prevent this from happening, make sure you fully complete that sense of satisfaction next week. When the moon moves into Libra, make sure you fully complete that sense of satisfaction. If, in your calculations, what you do adds value to your own values, only then, when the moon moves into Scorpio, you can consider the best possibility. Or now, these are the best possibilities you can have with one person, or choosing the best among several people, the one who values you the most and expresses their feelings to you unconditionally, meaning someone who comes to you for your sake, not just to be valued by you. Because right now, the biggest problem Libras will face is this. People will come to you. Will you value me? Are you giving to me? I didn't look at it from that perspective. Then look at it from that perspective first. Let me value everything that comes to me asking, can I value you? But give me back 5 times as much. You need to move past that. You have to get over that. Exactly. You have to move past that kind of relationship. Now let's move on to Scorpios with sun and rising signs. Scorpios with sun and rising signs. Let's see how your career life looks in the coming week. Scorpio, card number 1. Card number 2 and card number 3. Is it the sun sign? Moon sign Scorpio? Card number 1. Card number 2, card number 3. Now, a lot of people say, Mr. Ozan, you mentioned the moon sign, but you didn't talk about love life. I'm just looking, that's all. What is the moon anyway? It's your emotions. What are your emotions? They're your love life, basically. But people get so fixated on the word itself, they say, he didn't say love. What do you call that? Literal thinking. Don't expect too much from people who operate with literal thinking, because they only focus on themselves. Straightforward. What do I want? I've never looked at what the other person wants. I just looked at what I want. Me, me, me. That self-centered person. Scorpio, in your business life, you need to showcase all your skills right at the beginning of next week. With the moon in Virgo, you need to showcase all your skills. The 11th house, the house of external connections. The house of things coming from outside. The more you display your talents there, the more people will notice you and say, wow, you had these abilities, and they'll approach you with offers. Next week, with the moon in Gemini, with the sun in Gemini, you can truly thrive if you want to grow. Exactly. So, when we get to the middle of the week, the moon moves into Libra. That's pretty much the opposite for you. Really quite the opposite. Because you are water, Libra is air, and there is a balanced transformation there. Since you're a fixed sign, there will be things said to you because of the competitive energy coming from those approaching you. Not everything that's going to be said will necessarily be true. However, even though it's not true, you might want to believe it. The moment you want to believe it, you start to feel uneasy because the level of competition is very high. One tries to mess up the other's work and the other tries to mess up theirs. It tells you something about him. And you start to feel uneasy as well. You immediately try to take a step back. You're a Scorpio, you say safety first, but you need to move forward there, man. If you're going to live by what you hear, then we've got a problem. Exactly. If you're going to live by what you hear, we've got a problem. You'll miss the investment at the end of the week. You'll miss the values. Queen of Cups. If the Sun card appears among your cards in business life, it means profit from investments. But you, even knowing about that profit, might just snap and believe false information. Although, since you're a Scorpio, even with false information, you dig for the truth. You really do. But if you're surrounded by too many people, you might not get the chance to do that. That's why it's warning you from the start. Exactly. When it comes to your emotional life, the news you'll receive is very good. The news you'll get right at the beginning of the week is really great. You'll move forward in your emotional life with that news. You'll get excited. But in the middle of the week, the balance will change for everyone. So 6 out of 10 stays will be on the agenda. So what does this mean this time? There may be people around you who don't keep what they say. In fact, they might approach you like this. We were supposed to do something together. We were going to celebrate so nicely. But now you're not agreeing with what you said before. And are you betraying me? Are you betraying me? Are you stabbing me in the back? Because you said this. Well, now things have turned out this way. The balance is shifting, my friend. The balance is shifting. You need to adapt to those changes. But the last card says, it's the 9 of Cups. Things have become a bit too indulgent. The reason is that Venus has moved into Taurus. Symbolism has come to the forefront. It was a beginning full of celebration. Promises were made, everything was given. The Taurus-Venus energy started to come in, so people started to get too comfortable. Too much of a whatever, does it matter if I do it or not attitude. After all, the person in front of me is a Scorpio. Whatever I say, they'll just go along with it. That's where they don't eat. That plan won't make it to the end if you act with such a relaxed attitude. Because Venus moving into Taurus affects Scorpio a lot. Because Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. Venus in Taurus actually means Venus in Scorpio. It means the point where passions, emotions, and sensuality reach their peak. Here, many promises can be broken in the moment, out of too much ease, thinking, we'll handle it anyway. But Scorpio is fixed. They don't forget easily. Mayday, mayday. Now, this was also about Scorpio. It's necessary to pay attention to this in the coming week. Now, let's move on to the flying psychics. Dear Sagittarius signs, let's see how your upcoming week will go. Knock, 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 knock. Twins. Well, number 6, Taurus. Venus is entering daily routines. Are you ready, dear Sagittarians? Exactly. Sagittarius career life, part 1. Sun sign. Sagittarius career life, part 2. And Sagittarius career life, part 3. The emotional life of the Sagittarius is 1. Moon sign. Sagittarius emotional life, part 2. And Sagittarius emotional life, part 3. What is it? What is it not for Sagittarians in the coming week? Card number 1 says that at the beginning of next week, the moon will be in Virgo, in the earth element, and the sun will be in Gemini. Double mutable. Where there is double mutability, there are conflicts of ideas. There are cracks in partnerships. The sun in Gemini is ruled by Mercury. The moon is in Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury. So both emotions and logic are in mutable signs. This means conflicts of ideas in mutable Sagittarius, a mind that's all over the place. And even like, let me take from here, let me take from there, let me take from there. Suddenly, it gets stuck. What happened? Why is it always your way? Exactly. Why is it always your way? He may have a tribal infection at the beginning of the week. Logic might clash. While the moon is in Virgo. When the moon moves into Libra, your energy will really be in top shape. There's the Sun card in the spiritual realm, and your energy will rise so much that you'll be able to make the impossible possible. But what will you do about the initial conflict? If, at that point, there's an ego-driven situation on your side, and you get into the yeah, right attitude, then what would have happened won't be able to happen. This causes an ego-driven leap. That's why you should make good use of that process. While the moon is in Libra, the balance shifts at that moment. The balance changes. I was going to do it. It didn't work. This happened. That happened. I'm not doing it. Exactly. I'm not doing it. I'll walk my own path. Right? Let's see what the card for the end of the week will say about life. If you're going to move forward with your own truths, then watch out for the setbacks that might come from behind. We have the 3 of Swords here. Watch out for the setbacks that might come from behind. Wow, are you the one doing this to us? The ones who trample on our truths, saying from behind, if we can't move forward, neither can you. And then, snap, from underneath. Just as you're getting fired up with Sagittarius rising, be careful this week. The potential is high. Venus is in Taurus. Everyone will start to become greedy about money. Saturn is also in Aries. Everyone will be focused on strengthening their sense of self. In your emotional life as well, pay attention to your spending there. With the 2 of Saturn, be careful with your expenses this week. Especially Sagittarians who have more than one possibility in their lives. You try to keep up with everything. You say, let me pull myself together at least. Well, it's time to seriously do something with at least one of them. For God's sake, let's really get things going. Let's do something. Let's do something this week. Let's spoil ourselves this week. Exactly. Let's spoil ourselves this week. Well, at the end of the week, just when you think everything is all set, what about the other people you made promises to? But we said it was just a possibility. We did say it was a possibility, though. Well, if you don't keep your word, then in the end, we won't either. And if we don't keep our word either, you'll end up cornered. You fall. They'll trip you up from behind, just like that. You fall. Your hands and arms are tied. Knockout. So what happened to the Hadouken you were going to throw in the middle of the week? It blew up inside you. It exploded right here. Because you didn't let it out, it exploded inside you. As for next week or the week after that, may God help you. That's it. It's over. Bang. So pay attention next week. It's going to be quite a chaotic week for you, dear Sagittarius. Now let's move on to the cardinal earth sign, dear Capricorns. Let's see what next week holds for Capricorns. Exactly. Capricorn's career life, number 1. Capricorn's career life, number 2. And Capricorn's career life, number 3. This is the sun sign. Capricorn sign. Our emotional life, the moon ones. Capricorn's emotional life, number 2. And Capricorn's emotional life, number 3. What is it? What is it not? Card number 1, dear Capricorns. Since there is earth energy at the very beginning of the week in Virgo, and you are also the cardinal sign of earth, it would be good for you to focus on your values. It would be good for you to focus on your values, because the matter is serious. Likewise, at the end of the week, Venus moves into Taurus. It also goes into the ground. The matter is serious. With the moon in Virgo, you need to bring out the value of good organization so that when the moon moves into Libra in the middle of the week, Saturn does very well in Libra in terms of work. And when the moon is in Libra, Capricorns benefit greatly from this and find themselves in a very profitable period. By profitable, I mean very lucky. It would be great if you could evaluate it. In the middle of the week, all the balances start to shift in your favor. Mayday, mayday. At the end of the week, the moon is in Scorpio. Scorpio, be careful. Scorpio is fixed. Because you are Earth, you are cardinal. You have control over everything. But suddenly the energy sharply contracts. What happened, my world? Something happened, something's going on, but I can't see it. My mind went blank because the moon suddenly shifted into Scorpio. You got squeezed by Libra. You thought, I'll get it done anyway. You said, I'll do it anyway. But now you're stuck. Suddenly, what happened? The moon is in Scorpio, Venus is in Taurus. That's fixed too. You're totally on that line. You're totally on that line. Don't box yourself in on that line. Take care of it beforehand. Exactly. The news about your emotional life is quite positive. The Prince of Talismans, the news is quite positive. In the middle of the week, when the moon is in Libra, in a flirtatious sign, what will you do there? Won't they ask you, which possibilities are you chasing after? Gee, of course. Which one of us, man? Which one of us is an X or a Lex? Of course, it's all clean. So, what happened, Capricorn? Roots, hey Del, hey Del. Are you going to say, I'm not playing? Let me say, I'll play. No way. Let me tell you in advance, no way. But everyone's libido will be through the roof. With Venus in Taurus and the moon flying in Scorpio, everyone's libido is soaring. The wind has caught, it's flying because the senses have been stirred up. Venus, libido. Everyone will want it. Yeah. And you're the cardinal of earth signs. Material things are flying around you. Because you're a workaholic. And the opposite sex already knows this. Now, with Venus in Taurus, it means pure material things and comfort. They'll start running around shouting, Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. Just saying, will you be able to keep up with all of them at once? Hehehe. Now, let's move on to the walking geniuses, dear Aquarius signs, in the name of the power of shadows. Dun 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 dun. Ozen Film presents. Mayday, mayday. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Now, Aquarius career life, 1 sun card. Aquarius career life, 2 sun cards. And Aquarius career life, 3 sun cards. Moon sign Aquarius is card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. We will see what it is and what it isn't. Card number 1 says that you are progressing step by step toward a point of fulfillment in your career. Dear Aquarius Ascendants and Sun in Aquarius, you are moving forward step by step. The star card means that your spirit will start heading toward that point of fulfillment, along with that career while the moon is in Virgo. Yeah, you're going to get hyped up, really hyped. Yes, you're going to get hyped. Be careful, my boy. Be careful. Don't get too carried away. With Aquarius rising, you can get hyped up really badly. And then what happens at the slightest thing? Saturn laughs. I'm going back. I'm going back. Didn't I tell you? There's a risk there. You got carried away by the hype. Of course, you don't see the trip up from behind. It's actually the person next to the one beside you. That's the one who set up that trip up. I can see it. You don't see it. Exactly. How do you see it? I'm a bucket, son. Air. Exactly. Yeah, the moon is in Libra. Before you even get there, the balance shifts. Then comes the vehicle. Well, in the meantime, let's try to rise from our ashes. Let's focus on being reborn from our ashes. Even official documents might come up, because the court is on guard. Exactly, dear Aquarius. Next week, pay extra attention to this girl. There will be more than one person with her. They will all be supportive. Come on, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. There is such a thing as shame. Let's go. This is going to be a painful process. A process of rebirth. Be careful, dear Aquarius. What does your emotional life say? Aquarius moon signs? Bro, be careful when you do something. It might feel overwhelming. Too much support can be overwhelming. You'll be at a loss for what to do. Then with the Ace of Cups, you'll get tripped up. So what happens after that? You want the value you deserve? You keep asking for value, value, value. Maybe don't overdo it. Because everyone keeps coming, maybe don't push it too far. In the middle of next week, when the moon is in Libra, those value-based balances, you're giving me value, I'm giving you value, you're giving me value, I'm giving you value, I'm giving you value, you're not giving me value, I'm giving you value. What's going on? Gee, of course, what's going on? I can't see my way forward with you. There's such a thing as decency. I can't see my way forward with you. Then either eliminate the things you're going to do or the people involved. Or maybe you're just too much for me. Mayday, 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 mayday. I'm starting to sound the alarm. Did you notice? Mayday, 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 mayday. When I ask if you have a conscience, I'll tell you to put your hand on your heart. You've probably already ignored it. Did you hear that, conscience? Attention! Open. Now let's move on to the closing sign. Dear Pisces. Pisces sun sign, rising sign and moon sign, Pisces sun sign, career life card number 1, career life card number 2, and career life card number 3. Pisces moon signs, card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. Pisces sun signs. Our first card is that you need to move to the air next week. The helm sends its regards. Why? Because Saturn is there. The helm sends its regards. Saturn is there. Is Saturn there? No, not in this one. Yes, Saturn is there. Saturn has moved into your second house in Aries. Take the helm, don't make me sick. Steering, this is a full steering process. It's a time to really take control. The Chariot card. What will you do if the helm changes direction? Because the balance is shifting next week. Look, 2 major arcana at once. One of them is the mind. What should we do? Well, 2 at the same time the helm. What should we do? 2, the moon is in Libra. Direction. The balance is shifting. Something has to happen, Mr. Fish. No way. Yes. Look, 2 major arcana at once. You have a solid transformation coming your way next week. And at the end of that solid transformation, at the end of the week, when the moon is in Scorpio and Venus is in opposition, you need to be able to manage everything. In other words, you must not lose control. You need to be able to steer that helm. You need to be able to put on a helm show next week. Because next week, they will expect you to put on a show. If you don't take the helm at the beginning of the week, well, as the balance shifts, look, Pisces let go, the helm fell apart. The ones at the end said, let's see your show, and you'll say, you'll see my show, but they stole my helm, so I'm in big trouble. No, they didn't steal it. You just didn't take it. So the helm fell apart and someone hid its pieces. You said, they stole my helm? Yeah, they stole it. They stole it. Then you should have found it and taken the helm back. You were supposed to have all the control. Well, woo, Pisces is gone. This is what happens as a result. I'm telling you from the start, this is what happens. Moonstrike, Pisces. Ha! That reckoning will hit you anyway, quietly from underneath. Shh, what happened? Do something. Make a decision already. I mean, something needs to happen. Look, there's a helm up there. Do something. Hello. Do something. It will keep nudging you. Do something. The moon is in Virgo. I'll do it later. Come on, don't make me deal with this. No way. Then you'll try to take it out on the people in front of you. Ha. There's a justice card up there. I'm really curious how you're going to pull that off. It's either in this or in that. When I say it's in this, the balance tips to one side. Oh, then it's in the other. In the other, the balance shifts again. Oh, now it's in the other one. What are you after? What are you after? Guess where this will end up? Chaos. I'm not surprised at all. Chaos. Then I can't control it either. It's very chaotic. Look, it's just like casting your fishing line. You're aware of that, right? Very chaotic. You need to tackle that chaos at the beginning of the week with the calculations you'll make. Period. Done. Dear Pisces. That's all from me, friends. Ladies and gentlemen, see you in next week's broadcasts. I'm Ozan Korpe. For now, I say arrivederci to everyone. Take care.